haven't even seen the backyard yet. Wait until you see these cliffs that they cut right through just to get into the house. This driveway is super awesome. I can tell you from just pulling in the driveway, this is gonna be a really cool landscape to add a pond. Tom, the owner's on his way up here to meet me. And we're in Woodstock, New York. Looks like they have a pond already. This house is super cool. Tons of windows. And I'm sure the view out the back off that cliffside. Wow. So we just pulled up to the location to start the project. And Michael from Landscape Architect was able to get the pond mostly taken apart, but we got a lot of water in the hole. So we're gonna have to put some clean out pumps, drain that down so we can get to work. We got Baldo here, Felipe and Raphael's about to grab the clean out pump and throw it in the bottom of the pond. We gotta drain the rest of the water out of this thing so we can start shooting elevations and seeing what we need to fill. The pond was never holding the proper water level. What would happen is when the wetland would run, a lot of water would go under the liner, plus there's a hole down below. This project was only built a year ago. Could you believe that? 1 year ago this was built and they're already needing to rip it out and redo it. The new liner will not be as big because we are not using a poly liner. We are using a smaller 50 by 100 liner in here, so the pond will shrink down. We are going to need to bring in a decent amount of material in order to make this pond a little shallower. Right now it's supposed to be really deep down in the middle, so we need to get the pumps lower in the pond and we're replacing the liner. Hopefully that's down to the bottom. Don't try this at home. If you have a pond, you may put a hole in the bottom of it. But since we don't care, Christian is just launching these pumps to the bottom. Oh, geez. Oh, man. Oh, no. So we're over at Route 32 Supply in Saugerties, New York, loading up some item 4 so we can protect the driveway. We got to make a nice edge with the item 4. So as the dump trucks and the trucks go over the driveway, as well as the machines, we don't crush the edge. It's one of the preparation things on day 1. We'll also be laying fabric and plywood to protect the driveway surface. Because we're going to be doing a lot of construction and moving stuff from one side to the other and from one side to the other, we wanted to make a way that we can get material dumped over here, also move material back and forth like I just mentioned, without damaging the driveway surface. This driveway surface here is only 1 year old. It is not too hot out, so the asphalt is not really that soft, but the weight of the vehicles, whether it's a track machine or a dump truck, we do not want to crush the edge of the driveway. The fabric will be a protectant for the aggregate we're going to be laying on top, and one of our major concerns is on that side over there where Felipe is off the driveway, it drops off, so we need to fill that in as well. So if you look here, like Christian just said, one of his favorite quotes, not if it happens to him though, the most expensive project is when you have to do it twice. And this is supposed to be a wetland filter in front of us here with a layer of block, and all it is a hole filled with block. You need to have a certain amount of gravel on top for the filter to work properly. This is a lot of material going in here, whether it's aquascape or in this case it's Atlantic, but no need for all these blocks. We're going to be doing it the right way. So it's day 2 here on the project and we're back at it. And this morning I'm having Christian run around and mark some water level and edge marks around the pond. Right now he's marking the edge and water will be a couple inches down from that white mark. What we did was set the laser transit up, figured out the best edge height from the viewing area, which the house is behind me. So you'll be walking up to the pond where I'm standing right now. And before, the water level was way down from where I'm standing and it kind of looked like the pond was never full. So what we're doing is marking some areas out to see if we have the right grade going around the whole entire pond to be able to raise this water level up. So right now Christian's marking down below where the bottom of the pond is actually going to be. So we got some 3/4 inch gravel coming in today. 2 to 3 truckloads. We're gonna fill the bottom of the pond up. There's a lot of groundwater down there, so we're trying to take care of that as well. This will give us a great idea of how much material we'll need in the bottom of this. So we've had a lot of bags of gravel coming out of the hole. So far, I think we're up to 8 of them. We got some more over there by Baldo, some in the distance over there. The reason why we're putting the gravel in these bags, it's easy for us to lower the gravel back down into the bottom of the pond or move them around site as needed. Sometimes we might need it on the other side of the pond next next week. And that way right now we can strap it up with the excavator, or we can lift them with the skid steer and the forks just like this. Next to the stone yard over there at EP Jansen's Nursery in Florida, New York, they always have these on hand and they're nice enough to let us buy them. Super handy way to move material and keep it organized on the job site. So the wholesale department just got up here with our 50 by 100 liner. Thanks to Ryan over there. Oh, there he is. I'll introduce him in a second. And he just drove up in the new box truck. Eventually this thing will be wrapped just like that trailer over there and our other vehicles, and it is going to be a moving billboard. So Ryan, what do you think working at Garden State Koi so far? I know you're pretty new.
It's pretty awesome so far. I get to come to places like this.
How was your drive up here to Woodstock?
Beautiful.
Mountains are crazy, right?
I climbed a mountain in a box truck.
Well, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
This is his mobile moving unit here, so. We're almost at the point that we're able to dig where the centipede will be going for the aquascape wetland filter. The hole looks a little rough right now, but a little bit of prep. We got a bunch of sand here. We'll be able to make it look perfect and hopefully lay out where the centipede and the blocks go by the end of the day. We also got all that liner out of that pond, so any of the rubble rock we're throwing down below, pulling out the garbage. We are leaving that fabric in place. We want something in between the soil and the rocks, just like the one that Valdo threw down and the 3/4 inch gravel. That way over time, that does not migrate down into that earth and settle. So I want to thank Christian here for all his help, helping on stuff like this. We have a truckload of gravel coming from 32 Supply. He's telling them where we want it up on that roadway right behind them, and we're going to be able to start moving that into the pond. One thing that's crazy is there's a lot of groundwater here too. You can see down below we have a whole bunch of groundwater forming even up in the upper elevated area. It is also reforming at the bottom of the pond. There is an existing drain in here. If it does get worse, we might have to take care of that, but as of right now, we think we're okay. So right down here, we can't go any deeper. It's solid rock, so that is probably just water running along the bedrock anyhow. So it's coming down all over the mountainside behind me. We're almost ready to start filling this in with sand. We'll mark out the centipede and snorkel and then dig a trough in the sand. It's a lot easier than trying to dig through this muddy clay and rock. So we should have this all shaped out with some sand in here. That way we can put the filter parts in and get ready to be closer for liner. We're just prepping the final bottom down here. We're adding some 3/4 inch gravel because there is a little bit of groundwater that runs along those rocks, and we don't want our sand to get all soft as we're trying to level out our snorkel and centipede. We'll fill in the outside areas with sand, make sure they're the right height, and have a nice trench in the middle for that centipede and snorkel. From what this looked like yesterday, filled with all that gravel and all those aqua blocks over there, to what we got now is a way prettier site. We're working on trying to get everything shaped out in this thing. That way we're prepped and ready for liner over here. And then later on today, early this evening, we're gonna be running tons of that material. Between that skid steer right there, as well as the MT100, we're running those in tandem and move a whole bunch of that 3/4 you see in the distance. We have 2 more trucks coming today, and that should fill the bottom of this pond up to those white lines. That's our goal. It's a big goal to accomplish considering it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Just put your mind to it, right? Get her done. So Ralphie and the guys got the bottom leveled out, and now Ralphie's taking the spray paint can and marking out the centipedes and the snorkel. They'll remove that and then dig down a trough in the middle so that could sit back in there. A layer of aqua blocks will go, then a layer of cobble and gravel. The water will get pumped down into there, and as it rises up through this area slowly, it'll be filtered, as well as building biological bacteria on all the rock and gravel that'll be in here. That snorkel over there, that is the clean out for the filter unit. As they're digging out the bottom of the wetland, myself and Christian are moving that 3/4 to the bottom of the pond. He's on that NT100. I'm on the T595. Moving along slowly but surely. It is a crazy busy morning. We got topsoil, we got rocks. These guys trucked some gravel up from home. They're just pulling in now. We are moving along nicely. We have a whole day ahead of us, so we're super excited to see what we can get done. My goal is to try to get the liner in the pond. Let's see what happens. So it is almost 12 o'clock and the pond is starting to take shape. The fabric over the gravel and the topsoil coming in, we're actually able to get some nice level shelves and the ultimate depth of 4 foot down here at the bottom. I got to shape this out a little more, this gravel with the excavator, and then we'll be able to put fabric all through here. Right now, Raphael's running that little MT100 and he's building a nice weir for the wetland. So he's been building a little dam here and driving across it and packing it, and that's what's going to contain that wetland back there. We had to bring that elevation up. That's working out really well right now, and hopefully our plan for around 2:30 this afternoon, we can get that liner rolling down in here. We are oh so close. time has come to set the liner in the pond. It's about 10 after 4. Took a while to get some other things prepped, but we wanted to make sure everything was perfect before the liner went in the hole. And the guys did a tremendous job on getting all the fabric in there. We're ready to rock and roll. So when unrolling a huge liner like this, and because the liner is 100 feet long, what we did was we measured from over there by that super sack and where Brian, the drone flyer, is standing. We measured 100 feet and it came all the way back to here. So now we know when we unroll this liner, we should match up to the other side of the pond. Let me show you what the liner looks like in the hole. We got to make sure the liner is in the right position so we have enough liner for when we do our edging. That is crucial, and that's what we're working on first thing this morning. Unfortunately, over the weekend and Monday, we do have rain, but it is also a good thing because it's very dry out here. We are actually in a drought right now. Red flag fire burning in New Jersey, also in New York State and the surrounding areas. So hopefully the rain will help a little bit with that. It is not going to help for this project. Monday, we're going to come back. Instead of it being dusty, it's going to be muddy, but we're used to it and we shall overcome. So I'm down in the bottom of the wetland filter, and what you're looking at right now is the centipede and the snorkel unit. That centipede in front of me is where the plumbing attaches, that fitting right there. And the water is forced in through this centipede, and then it rises up through the filter unit. That thing over there, that is the snorkel. That is your clean out for the filter. It is super important for you to have a clean out when you're either doing a wetland or a bog filter. If there's no way to clean out the sediment down below over time, the filter will fail. It might work initially, but down the line, years later, you will have a problem. So the guys are sturdying the centipede down below with some cobble-sized rock, around hand size, maybe a little bigger. That'll keep that centipede nice and sturdy. Then the layer of block will go in there, small aqua blocks, and then we'll be putting gravel. The first layer of gravel will be 2 to 4 inch. Then we'll step it down to around 1 to 2s, and then down to a 3/4. And that will go in 8-inch lifts. So we'll come up roughly about 9 inches with the aqua block, and then another 24 inches with gravel inside this hole. You notice we have a layer of fabric over everything. That is super important to protect the liner down below. And as the water percolates up through all that, gravity will take effect. Sediment will fall down below like we talked about earlier. The water will come up, rise up through plant roots, and flow out into the pond, keeping this pond crystal clear. It's coming along nicely. There's a lot of work to be done up here in Woodstock, but we can just keep trucking along.